Alright, today we're going to take a look at some hands I played on 6 plus hold'em table. Ended up spinning up a nice stack on this one, so just want to run through a couple of the key decisions with you guys. I was playing a session with a bunch of tournament tables as well, so sorry they're kind of in the way like a bunch of the time, but shouldn't matter too much. So here we limp with the king 10 under the gun. Flop a gut shot, you could justify leading out here, or just check in, trying to see the free card. You could definitely call a small bet on the flop with the queen for the nuts, so I think we end up just giving up on this turn card. Yeah, we do. There's not too much value in just calling to hit it on the end, when by then it would be a 4-card straight, so there's less value in making straights when they're more obvious, so just decide to give that one up. So here, I do end up calling this with the king jack offsuit. This is one of the hands that plays really poorly though in 6 plus hold'em games, so would recommend probably trying to play this as little as possible. In this scenario, I did decide to play it. It was heads up pot. We have position, so I decided to take a flop, but we completely whiff, and that it's quite an easy hand to whiff boards with. Just completely miss with king jack offsuit in this type of game. So maybe king jack suited is kind of like the line where we should be playing it. But we were feeling a little spicy, and we took a flop and just burned off $2. So here once again just limping in. Flop top pair. I think the dynamic on this table was that this guy was a bit of a maniac. So we weren't going anywhere with this top pair. We turn a double gut shot as well with a queen and an 8 giving us a straight. And our king could be good, so I think we put the money in here because we're short stacked, and we end up running into a set of 7s, which was a little bit unfortunate. Still have like 30% equity, and we do hit, so and we're not always going to be up against a stronger hand as a set there, so be up against some like smaller 2 pairs and have a bunch of equity, so we do get lucky, but it's, we were kind of up against the worst possible hand that we're ever going to see there, so ace queen suited. So we limp these hands to try and make our opponents make mistakes by just going crazy with like inferior hands. So if someone wants to put in a lot of action, and we can do exactly what we're doing now, re-raise, and just look to win the pot right there. Like there's nearly $26 in there, or just get action from worse hands like this 10-9. So we turn an ace, which ends up being good. So I don't blame him there. He kind of had like a gambling hand with a short stack, but ends up just like donating to us. So very nice. Here, this is another one of those king jack type of hands. This hand doesn't really flop too well. It's, if you're gonna play the kind of bottom of your range here, then you want to do it in position. And here we flop 2 pair. If he has king queen, we're just gonna run it. Hopefully he runs it twice, but we're never folding. We want to get calls from like ace queen, ace king, jack 10, ace 10. We're just putting the money in. We're not looking to fold really. If we were deeper stacked, we might just take a card off, and he does end up folding, so we just take down the pot right there. Good result. Even if he does have hands like ace queen, ace king, he has decent equity on us. So and here these types of hands play pretty well. Jack 9 suiteds. So we try and play it for the minimum. Don't really remember this hand. Okay, so it ends up getting jammed on us. And we just fold. I think we would have called 250 extra though. 4 ways, 250. Getting great pot odds. That's kind of why we limp, is we limp in so that if stronger players do decide to raise the pot, then we can just decide to call, getting good pot odds, take some flops. It does get called by 9-8, which loses the first run. So they chop it up. Oh no. Oh, he made a flush in the end. Okay. So he scoops both there. So he did it pretty much exactly the same as us. Ace, queen, limp, jam. And here it's a little bit different. So we're a little bit deeper. Don't really have any reads on this guy. So we just decide to limp call with the ace, queen. Just play some small ball. This is like a terrible card. Any sixes make a straight. Jack 10 makes a straight. But we do end up betting this river. Hopefully to just get called by ace 10, ace jack. Obviously ace 6 beats us. We can get called by like any pocket pair. I think he ended up calling us for the 9, so I'll at 1 the maximum there. And any players that kind of look to isolate with bad hands or putting a lot of loose action, we're just giving them green tag. That way when we go to the tables, when we see these green tags, we know that they're going to be given some action, these guys. So six nine in position. Pretty bad hand. We do turn 2 pair, so he has a straight a lot of the time. We're just calling to try and fill up. We miss, so we don't bluff. We know that he's gonna have a 7 like nearly always when he bets that big on the turn. So I think he's check calling. Here again, just looking to play kind of small pots with ace queen. We're not looking to blow anything too crazy out of the water. So we flop an ace and we're just going to bet for value. Like in that type of scenario where no one's flat calling ace king, so we're pretty much always betting for value. Unless they flop 2 pair, and then we just kind of want to find out early about it. So this is a pretty terrible flop. Even though we flop a pair and we can make some backdoor straights and 2 pairs, we're not going to continue on boards like that. Here, same principle as like all the other hands, like ace queen, jack 9, especially when we're in such early position. We just open in the pot with a limp. It looks like we were deliberating just shipping it on this guy, but we do decide just to take the flop. And we flop a gut shot on mid pair. And we decide to take the 2 blockers and just put it in his eye here, so. And he calls us with kings. We turn a gut shot, no. I think we turn more outs with a straight draw, but yeah, we whiff. So we kind of know that he has a hand like that, but we're looking to, I don't know, hopefully make him fold hands like that, but he does not, and we do not get there. Here we just limp behind with the king queen flop 2 pair. So we're just going to start with bets. We're only going to get action if someone's got a piece of the board, so there's no point in trying to slow play 2 pair and 6+ hold'em. You're just looking to get a lot of money in the pot while you can. And here king 6 suited, just looking to make flushes, which we flop the nuts, so must be nice. We don't really have to worry about protecting from anything in this game, so we're going to bet really small. Our opponents, even if they fill up with a full house, lose, so we're not worried about that. We're just looking to build a big pot, so start with a small bet. Turn is an ace, which is good for our opponent's range. Like if he can have some boats now, so we just check call to try and disguise our hand, act like we hate this turn card. Check jam the river, obviously beaten by quad 10s and quad aces, but can't play scared like that, and he does just fold, so we did induce a bluff. You would have at least had to think about it with a 10 or an ace. So here we even choose to limp behind with the ace king, hoping for a little bit of loose action behind, and we do get it. Do get a 250 raise. I think we end up getting this in versus queens. And yeah, with all that dead money out there, we're just looking to get it in. And it is against queens, so we're a slight favourite. And there's a lot of aces and kings. I think, yeah, we hit an ace on the second board, so a nice pot. So you're actually like a slight favourite with ace king in 6+ hold'em, and we do win both boards there. Very lucky for us. Here we flop, so we limp call with jack 10, we flop an open ender. Against shorter stacks, we probably look to limp jam this. Guy bets has a big stack, so we're just looking to take a turn and hopefully make the nuts on the turn, which we do. Versus this type of opponent, we're just going to get it in. We don't want him checking back 2 pairs, and he does have the top 2, and we hold for a nice big pot. So pretty much had a good read on the guy. Like we just knew that he wasn't going to fold. Like, so a better player might just be able to get away from that hand there, and we might have to check, go for a small value bet on the river maybe if they check behind. But against that guy, to be honest, he probably even bets if we check it to him, but we didn't want to take that risk. We wanted to get max value and get it in good. I'm going to see any like board pairs on the river, not really know where we're at, so Jack 9 offsuit against this player. We're just looking to take flops, especially in position heads up pot, and we turn the straight, the low straight. So we do bet for value and just take it down right there. So kind of our reasons for checking behind on boards like that is we don't have the nut straight draw, and the board is already paired. So in some cases, in a heads up pot, we would probably just bet the flop with an open ender, but those two factors make it more of a check behind, I think. So the board's already paired, and we have got the low straight draw, so we just check behind, but we get a good turn card. Flop or flush draw here. When you flop flush draws in 6+ hold'em, you almost want to keep the pot small as possible just to try and be able to spike the flush. You don't really want to ever build a pot and try and bluff your opponents out. You kind of want opponents to make hands and you make the flush, so we do just keep the pot small here, and we just miss. We only put 25% extra in. Pretty much looking for the nuts, but we don't get it. Like in hold'em, you kind of, if you flop like an over and a flush draw, it's good to just push your equity. In 6+ hold'em though, when there's less cards that you can actually hit to make a flush, kind of makes less sense to bloat those pots. You want to, yeah, just play like quite small ball poker with any flush draws really. Here I think we fold. I think against a deeper stack we would take a flop here, even though it's $3 more. But when an opponent only has like $13 extra that they can win, it's not really much point. So and we get ace king in the 1 seat, so we just limp in again. Oh, pretty much always looking for raises when you do anything like this, so we do get a little raise here. I think we probably just ship it in. Looking to get called by worse ace high hands. And obviously any other hand, but it was the best scenarios for us. I'm against the short stacks all in, and we just hold. There's king 10 off and does not hit. I imagine we call this bet with jack 9 suited. These are pretty much our favourite type of hands. So, and we flop middle pair. So if this is check too, wouldn't mind seeing a bet here. Whereas if someone bets, then we'll probably just fold. Okay, and someone bets. So I think we could take a stab at that pot the same way this player is, to our right. He doesn't necessarily have to have much. He could do this with like 8-7, jack 10. Pretty much any hand, like even ace highs, he can just take a stab. When people check in the 6+ hold'em games after they've raised pre-flop, they pretty much always just check giving up. That's why it's good if you're looking to play with people long term to have a lot of check jams in your range, or at least check raises. Here we flop open-ended with jacks. I think we just end up getting this in against ace queen maybe. I don't remember the hand. I think we were deliberating just taking a card off, but just decided we want to see both cards if we're going to play this hand. So yeah, okay, so he calls us for queen 10 and we turn the straight. It was pretty much flip of a coin there, but we decided if we're going to put it in, we want to see both cards. So wow, and here we just limp behind with the king, so we really were trying to trap this guy in the button. He was putting in a lot of action pre-flop, so hopefully he pulls the trigger here. And he does. So I guess we just ship it in. Yep, we do. I wouldn't mind seeing something like $7 there. I think he's doing this within the trash hands where we can just get that extra value from him. Here I think we end up taking a stab. So after it goes check jack on the flop, I don't think he checks any kings. So we just take a stab at it then. and we just steal that one with position. He limps in, we kind of know that he's not looking to continue there. The dynamics change a lot in 6+ Hold'em when it gets short-handed, you know. It's a lot more about button stealing, and I think this is the last hand that we play, so I'm going to finish on this one. So I don't know if we decide to just get this in or just take a flop. Yeah, I think we do take a flop. So even against like a maniac, we're not looking to get this all in pre-flop. And the same again with this, even though we flop top pair, top kicker. The draw heavy board, so we just check call. And we hate the turn card. Any kings, the straight now. Any 8. It's a lot of 2 pairs. So we've got a pure bluff catcher now. And we check, and I think, yeah, he has Jack 10, so he wasn't going anywhere on that flop. Yeah, so I hope that's pretty insightful. Good little session where we span up to $160. So yeah, if you've got any questions, add them in the comments, and like and subscribe. Thanks a lot. Bye.